I can tell you every time that I'm about to go on stage, I am always terrified. Every time. And I've been doing this for 22 years.
You know, we go into the mountains, we go into the backcountry, and it's just a dangerous place. Focusing in on like, all right, what's the priority? The priority is to go out, get your job done, but get home safely. And I think that process and that protocol helps me kind of filter out all the other stuff that's in my head, and I just kind of narrow in and get focused on just being present.
Your stakes are like way higher. Like life and death, where mine it's like blink, block, broke a string, whatever, played a wrong chord. It's really not that, especially because I can't do the crazy stage moves I used to do because of all my insane spine injuries and surgeries. Like anyone can go walk out on a stage like I do. You just walk on the stage. It's very, very easy, even if you're terrified to do it. But you bring up an interesting point. So if you're having a bad, let's give it the least medical moniker we can. If you're having like a bad brain day, which I have a lot of those. I'm a very depressed person. I have a lot of anxiety. I have a little bit of bipolar in there. So sometimes, even though I'm on medication and I go to therapy and all of these things, I still have intrusive thoughts. I still have issues that just pop into my mind, and maybe I'm just having a bad day, whatever it is. If you have anything close to that, you have all of these things that you can focus on. You can redirect your mind, like especially even like just comparing. Like I work out in the gym 3 days a week, and if I'm not focused on the workouts I'm doing, I can get very injured. So it helps me to clear my mind, to have that focus. And is that kind of what preparing for a shoot, for instance, is for you? Like even if you're having a shitty day, whatever it is, whatever's happening in your mind, you have to clear your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's for me, when I go out into the mountains and am focused on filming, it's almost a relief for me, kind of like going to the gym, because I know what I'm doing there. That's my focus. That's my singular goal, is to go out and get shots and be present in that space. I think the harder moments for me is like doing a Zoom call or like I do part-time work for Liquid Death, and we do these presentations every week, and like I struggle with panic attacks, so I get like really bad anxiety speaking in front of a group, and a lot of that just has to do with like my internal thoughts and my like fight or flight kind of system takes over, and I just freeze and I can't think, and I have to like like my heart palpates and I can't breathe and everything like that. Yeah. So those panic attacks happen. And I think what I've learned over really the last couple of years, because I've been a little bit more in tune with how to deal with things like that, is if I have too many things going on, then that's when my mind gets distracted and I'm looking at my phone and I'm checking my email and I'm writing half an email before I get distracted with the next thing or whatever. So if I can reduce those distractions and really, become focused and present into the moment that's happening, then I'm not anxious. I'm not worried about what other people are thinking or whatever. And it's so in the snowboarding world, when I'm out snowboarding and filming, that's not an issue because I'm still focused on what I'm doing. And what I've been trying to do is take that and like apply it to my more day-to-day life. So then I'm not just anxious and being pulled in a million directions.
That's what you should be doing. I mean, I think you bring up a really good point. So, because we're talking about this and we're trying to bestow knowledge or what we think is knowledge onto younger people that they can use in their lives. And I think like kids, like our kids, for instance, are watching us grow up in a world that has been kind of turned into this idea that we have to juggle 3 million things at once. We have to multitask, even though we're not built to multitask. I know some people say they can, but like no one can really properly do 2 things, 3 things, 4 things at once. And it will drive you crazy. It will cause a lot of anxiety. That can cause things like panic attacks. And, you know, even with my daughter, when we're doing her homework, she comes home with a homework packet and she's worrying about 3 sheets later when she needs to just be focusing on the one that we're doing right now. And I have to tell her, calm down, take a deep breath, take 2 deep breaths, take 3 deep breaths. We're doing this now. That stuff doesn't matter, you know? So I think you've learned a lesson from snowboarding that you can only focus on that. And that's the only thing you can focus on. And you're trying to take that into these Zoom meetings, these presentations and go, okay, I just have to focus right now. I have to take a deep breath. This is going to be okay. And I think kids need to know to do that and not do the other thing that we're doing, which is trying to multitask and doing 100 things at once. I know that kills me. You know, I have my music career. I have a writing career. I have multiple projects happening at once. And I've had to literally start to say no to people and also no to myself. And say, this is enough. I have to stop. I'm going to explode. I'm just human. And I think it's important to remember that we're human and that we're not super and we can't do a million things at once because it will crush us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would just say that like I guess the catalyst to a lot of people's success, that drive that they have is, you know, comes from somewhere. And for me, it was like, I think this needing of like validation or whatever it was.
Same.
And so that that kind of negative self-talk, I think a big thing for me is like, and what I would just suggest to anybody really is like, you are not your thoughts. So if you can find a way, whether that's through, you know, meditation and breathing, like you were saying before a concert, or whatever it is for you to separate yourself from your mind and your thoughts just taking over, and you can be more present. I would say that's gonna benefit your life.
Yeah.
So
I also think like speaking of negative self-thoughts, which I have like crazy, I've had to work more lately on saying no to those thoughts instead of just allowing them to exist and permeate. So I'll even like recite them out loud. I'm very self-deprecating. And I think it's gotten to the point where I'm actually starting to believe those thoughts. And you're right, those are just thoughts. They're intrusive thoughts. You have to say no to those thoughts. If you can work towards the point of turning them into positive thoughts, that would be better. But it's good to at least start at like halting them and saying, no, we're not doing this right now. We're not getting into the negative self-talk. We're not even going to view these obstacles in front of us as negative things, you know, saying, oh, I can't do this. This isn't going to happen. This is going to be terrible. You know, otherwise you will fulfill that prophecy. You know, if you're looking for negativity, you will find negativity. So I think at the very least, halting that negativity and trying to also see your obstacles in front of you as something positive, or at least put a positive spin on them, can really help your outlook. And a weird thing I learned, this is going to sound really stupid. I learned this from a therapist, that sometimes when you're just having a shitty day, just to start doing a half smile, start just smiling a little bit.
Totally.
And you'd be surprised to being in the moment. If you can bring yourself back to the moment and do something like a half smile, or bring yourself back to the moment and say to these negative thoughts, no, we're not doing this today. This is a bad route. That is getting back into the moment and paying attention to what is happening now. And it allows you to get these obstacles out of the way so you can continue with your day and not have it fall the fuck apart.
Yeah, you said it, man. This is great. I mean, our time is up. Man, you guys totally rock that. Really, thank you so much for doing that. There's some really valuable shit in there.
Hopefully.
Yeah, you know, you both, but it's interesting is you both talked about something that that I've believed, throughout my life. I was a pretty competitive soccer player for a long time, like through college, and then performed in a band. And I used to write "Stop Thinking" on my bass, because when you're doing those things, the crafts that you love, and you get in your zone, you're able to tune all those intrusive thoughts out. And I think you guys certainly both know what that's like between sports and music, where you're in a zone and it's like you're on cruise control. And that's like the best that my mind has ever felt,
Yeah, definitely. Great. I mean, people talk about it. There's tons of books written about flow state. And it seems like this kind of impossible thing to recreate if you've ever kind of experienced something like that. But to me, I just think it's more about the preparation that you put into your day or into your activity. So then you can just filter everything out and stay focused. And I think that's your best opportunity to get into that type of flow state.
Yeah, because you can't get into a flow state if you're doing too much frontal lobe thinking. If you're overthinking things, you can't get there. I always recommend to myself to be as stupid as possible, and it allows you just to disconnect and have fun. You have to get nice and dumb, and you can get dumb in a smart way. There's a way to do it. There's a balance.
Well put.
Yeah.
Go hollow head. Yeah.
Yes. Hollow the mind.
You guys are so awesome. Congratulations on the enormity of your respective successes.
Thank you.
It's been so terrific to speak with you in this capacity.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Yeah, thank you. It's very nice to meet you, Pat.
Yeah, you as well, Joe.
Have a great day, guys. Thanks.
All right.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.